I often say that if I had a prayer, it would be this: God, spare me from the desire for love, approval, or appreciation.
So seeking love, approval, and appreciation is like living, it's living as a slave. A person would immediately, seeking love, approval, and appreciation, would immediately project what they need to say, do, how they need to move, what they need to all of that to win your approval.
Right.
And so, they create a facade and, whatever they think you would approve of. And then when you say you care about that person, they never believe you because the person you're caring about doesn't exist, and they know it. With a facade, the way I used to live, people liked me or they didn't. Without a facade, people liked me or they didn't. So I'm free and people are left with what they believe about me, and it's all good.
So what's changed is you. But that's all there is to you. And when you were going for approval, what you thought people thought mattered.
Oh, my goodness. That's why I say, it's slavery. Who enslaves us? We do. It's like, what will he, what will she, what will they think of me if I wear this, if I say that, if I do. So everything's always censored. So we can be that facade that we think they'll approve of.
Right.
So, people who question their mind begin to understand there's nothing we can do to manipulate or control another person's mind, that it's hard, it's difficult enough and hard enough to know our own.
Right.
That's enough. As you continue to question your mind, you just come to love you the way you are and just find it fascinating that other people don't, and you understand why they wouldn't, because they are believing their thoughts about you.
Right.
And I say if I had a prayer because I would pray in a heartbeat if there was something I wanted. But when you have everything, when everything is just the way it's supposed to be, perfect, and just for you, what would you change?
Is prayer
Nothing.
Is prayer about change?
Prayer is it's about it's the attempt to dictate through a plea another reality.
I used to pray. When I was in Jewish high school, yeshiva high school, and we used to pray. And I just also remember I just did it to do it because everybody was doing it, and we were expected to do it, and we were also told that if you did it because it's the law, that in itself was enough, and then later maybe one day the intentionality would come, and I just never kind of got it.
Well, is that true?
It's
that could be why you're so open to something else. Everything counts, and I hear you.
Right.
And
so it could
if
be.
I were in a box with no way out and frightened, I might scream for God's help.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's a prayer. So I think, and also prayers that people do daily, I think is a wonderful thing because they're coming out of what's good and what's beautiful. And so that is truer to our nature, mm-hmm. truer to their nature, and they feel better for it.
I can totally
because
get it.
They like themselves when they're thinking of others and themselves and good.
Right.
So it's kind of an escape from the mind that would see what's wrong with everything, including oneself.
Right.
They're kinder thoughts.
Right.
And thoughts for others, thoughts for yourself, and
well, what's wrong with that?
Nothing. Yeah. I'm for it.
Right.
And if people question their stressful thoughts, that's all they're left with. So I call this unceasing prayer. This what's left, unceasing prayer, unceasing meditation. But it's the prayer answered. So it's living as the answered.
Right. So if there's prayer, great, and if there's not prayer, fine.
Well, it doesn't mean anything other than many people feel better when they do.
Right.
It's like making ourselves feel better. It's like comforting ourselves. Yeah. And I might have the thought, for example, God help me. Well, I'm a very impatient person, so I would turn around saying, Katie, help yourself.
Right.
And there's another turnaround, Katie, help God. And that's a beautiful thing. And if God were loving, what would he be? Everything. And that would include me. And so my arms are always
open.